Hello everyone, welcome back to our YouTube channel Gate Classes by the Tech Faculties. I am Chandrapal Singh and this is my brief introduction. Today we are going to complete natural convection or free convection, and we are going to complete our convection topic for the heat transfer subject as per the GATE syllabus. So this is our fifth lecture on convection heat transfer of heat transfer subject. For the natural convection, our aim will be to find the physical parameter available in the natural convection system as we have found in the forced convection system. So let's have the understanding of the natural convection system. To identify the physical parameter present in the natural convection system, let's consider an example of a vertical plate, and that plate is maintained at a temperature Ts and having a length L. In a forced convection system, we had that the fluid is flowed by the velocity v. So here, the how the flow takes place around this vertical plate. So let's understand this. So as there is no evidence of the velocity, so considering that this plate is surrounded by the ideal fluid, that is air or a gas ideal fluid having a temperature T infinite. So ideal gas equation is P specific volume RT is PV is equal to RT. Then we have the rho is equal to P by RT. Here we can see that as the temperature of that gas or ideal gas increases, the density decreases. So once the gas comes in contact with this surface, what happens? It gains heat, and due to which the density decreases and it become lighter. So it start move in upward direction and reaches up to this point. So after this point, it is not going to move upward, as it is not going to gain heat from the surrounding. So at that point, as that gas has the inertia, so it only moves in this direction or in this direction. So here it is not going to penetrate this solid boundary. So this it has only this direction, and it moves in this direction, and due to the gravity it start to move in a downward direction and again reaches to this point. So to complete the current, I assumed that this same fluid or same molecule of the fluid is continuously flowing around this plate. So at this point the density of the fluid is rho, and at that point the density of the fluid is rho dash. So by this we have that P or P dash, and we can say that fluid is flow from higher temperature to the higher pressure to the lower pressure. So this result is obtained, and we can say the flow is there is a pressure driven. Let's have the physical quantities present in the system. Considering that G is a function that representing the natural convection system. So here we have velocity, temperature of the fluid, and this is a case of the convection. So we will have convective heat transfer coefficient, H, and this characteristatics length LC, and density rho. As we have seen that flow of the fluid is around the plate is due to the change in density. So density is changing with the temperature. We have the d rho by dt, and we have one value which is equal to the beta. Beta is equal to the 1 by rho, or 1 by rho d rho by dt, which is known as, and having a unit, first of all its unit is Kelvin inverse, and it is a volumetric expansion coefficient, or volume coefficient of thermal expansion. So this is beta and having a unit K inverse. So beta will be there, and as the Prandtl number is also plays an important role, which is a ratio of the Prandtl number, as it is a ratio of kinematic viscosity to the thermal diffusivity, as these are the, as it is a property of the fluid. So the momentum diffusion will be here, and thermal diffusivity will be here. So these three properties of the fluid, that mu, Cp and K, will also be part of the physical quantities in the natural convection system. So write down mu, Cp and K. So these are the physical quantities are present in the natural convection system. But this relationship we can have that natural convection system, the natural convective heat transfer coefficient H is a function of characteristatics length, temperature, rho, g, mu, Cp and K. So we have also seen that the the current of the fluid is just due to the change in density with respect to the temperature. So here buoyancy force will come into picture, and and by this relationship we will use dimensional analysis, and we will have the result that Nusselt number will be a function of Grashof number and Prandtl number. So here natural convection system is defined by these three dimensionless numbers. As let's discuss the physical significance of these three dimensionless numbers present in the natural convection system, and we have discussed the physical significance of this Nusselt number and Prandtl number. So let's have understanding of Grashof number. So the Grashof number is equal to G beta delta T characteristics length cube upon nu square. So by solving this, we will have that it will be equal to buoyancy force multiply by inertia force divided by viscous force square. So this will be equal to, means this term will convert into this form, that Grashof number is equal to the buoyancy force into inertia force and viscous force divided by viscous force square. So let's have the value of beta, that how we are going to find the value of Grashof number. That value of beta is equal to the 1 by Tf, which is a film temperature, and that is equal to the mean of T-wall plus T infinite by 2, and this delta T is equal to difference of T-wall or T infinite. If the temperature of wall is greater than the surrounded fluid, then we will use this, and other if delta T will be equal to T infinite minus T wall if T infinite is greater than T wall, then we are going to use this, and T wall is greater than T infinite, in that case we are going to use this. And this LC is a characteristatics length. So let's have few geometries to find the characteristatics length. First we have vertical plate. So this is a vertical plate having a length L. In that case, the maximum length traveled by the fluid is this length of the plate. So the characteristatics length will be the length of the plate. Now if we have the horizontal plate, and this is A and this is B. In that case, the characteristatics length LC will be A plus B by 2, means mean of this value. And if the cylinder is placed vertical, and having a length, that cylinder having a length L and diameter D, in that case the fluid is going to cover the maximum length, and that will be equal to the length of the cylinder, and it will, in that case, the characteristatics length will be the length of that cylinder. Or if this cylinder is placed horizontally, in that case the characteristatics length L will be equal to the diameter. And if we have a cube, in that case the characteristatics length will be, I'm considering this is as a and this is as a B and this is as a C. So first we have to find the maximum length max between A and B. Let's consider this is A, and the characteristatics length will be A into C divided by A plus C. So this is how we are going to find the characteristatics length for the cube. And if we have a sphere, in that case the maximum length traveled by the fluid will be diameter of the sphere, and that is the characteristatics length. So this is how we will find the characteristatics length for the different geometries. From here we can find the value of Grashof number, and the Grashof number signifies, or significance is same as the Reynolds number has in the forced convection system. So let's have one question that was asked in GATE 2016, that the Grashof number signifies as the ratio of. So as we have that it is equal to the buoyancy force by, and it is a product of buoyancy force into inertia force divided by square of viscous force. So here we will have the close answer, that is equal to the option B, as inertia force to the viscous force is Reynolds number. So option number A is going to be cancelled out. Buoyancy force to the inertia force is not into the in the picture in this formula. So we are going to cancel out this again, and the inertia force to the surface tension is not here. So the option number B is correct. So that is buoyancy force to the viscous force. Let's have empirical relationship for natural convection for laminar flow and turbulent flow. And before that, we are going to find how to find the flow is laminar or turbulent. Here in a natural convection, the product of Grashof number and Prandtl number is described, that whether the flow is laminar or turbulent. So the product of this number is known as Rayleigh number. So if the value of Rayleigh number is lesser than 10 to the power 9, then the flow will be treated as the laminar flow, so that the value of GRPR is lesser than 10 to the power 9, then the flow will be laminar flow. Or if product of this value GRPR or Rayleigh number is greater than 10 to the power 9, then the flow will be turbulent. So let's have empirical relationship for the laminar flow and the turbulent flow for natural convection. Yes, for the laminar flow, as we had that the Nusselt number will be a function of GRPR. Here the value of the Nusselt number will be constant into product of GRPR's power m. For laminar flow, m will be equal to 1 by 4 or 0.25 for the natural convection, and this C is varies as the geometry of the solid boundary changes. So next we have the relationship or empirical relationship for the turbulent flow. And in the turbulent flow, we have that the Nusselt number is equal to C, means constant value, GRPR's power m, and here m will be equal to 1 by 3 or 0.33, and the value of constant is again varies in the turbulent flow as the geometry of the solid boundary varies. So this is how this is what we have in the natural convection system. So today we completes our convection topic for GATE syllabus for the heat transfer subject here. So I hope you have enjoyed the convection topic with me. So from the next class we will start heat exchanger. So till then, bye.